Mr. Aditya Bhatta.
Not the petitioner. Petitioners are challenging the virus of several provisions of Statue of Unity Area Development Authority, Tourism Development Authority Act, Lordships. Primarily on the grounds that in the name of tourism development, what is essentially being carried out is the town planning. Under the provisions of Article 243 ZC, it is not permissible for the state to enact any law which establishes the urban local body in any of the scheduled area. So Lordships, firstly, I would just point out to the Honorable Court that Statue of Unity is located in an area which is a scheduled area. Now, I may take the Honorable Court firstly to the provisions of Article 243 ZC and thereafter the relevant provisions in the Act,
Yes.
which are tantamount to giving the powers of town planning.
You that section. Article, Constitution of India.
I have as such reproduced, if court may permit me to read from my petition, it is reproduced, Honorable Court may see at 250.
Yes.
Lordships, by way of 74th Amendment to the Constitution, this part was inserted. That is part IXA or 9A 243 ZC says that nothing in this part that is pertaining to the municipal bodies shall apply to the scheduled areas referred to in clause 1 and the tribal areas referred to in clause 2 of the Article 244. Nothing in this part shall be construed to affect the functions and powers of the Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council, which is not relevant. Nothing in this part, anything, notwithstanding anything in this constitution, Parliament may by law extend the provisions of this part to the scheduled areas and the tribal areas referred to in clause 1, subject to the exceptions and modifications as may be specified in the law, and no such law shall be deemed to be the amendment of the constitution. Now, Lordships, I may point out two important things. Identical provision is there also for the panchayats, but that is why there was a law by the Parliament, that is PESA, Panchayat Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act. Now, Lordships, identical effort was made by the Parliament, that is MESA, Municipalities Extension to the Scheduled Area.
Get that Unity Area Development Tourism Governance Act.
Now, Lordships, I may take the Honorable Court to that particular part. I have attached the entire act, Lordships, at page number 53 onwards. Honorable Court, I will just give some cursory look to the Honorable Court and thereafter relevant part which is under challenge in this PIL. Honorable Court may see the Constitution of Tourism Authority, which is a nominated body under section 4. Honorable Court may find the section 4, which begins from page number 56. I would point out this especially because had it been an elected body, then there would have been the representation of the tribals. This is a nominated body. This nominated body under subsection 3A has the following members at page number 57. Now I would point out to the Honorable Court the powers which are sought to be conferred upon this authority. What are the powers they are exercising and how they are violating not only the Constitution of India, but also the provisions of PESA Act, Land Acquisition Act, and Lordships other relevant provisions of law.
Mr. Counsel,
My Lords.
you are now challenging the virus of Statue of Unity of Area Development and Tourism Governance Act.
Lordships,
On what ground?
I am challenging on the ground. Lordships, I have adduced multiple grounds, but primary ground that court will immediately convince with me is that the powers which are conferred upon the SOU Tourism Development Authority are that of the town planning in nature. And town planning is a first article, first entry in Schedule 12 of the Constitution of India, which pertains to the urban local bodies.
Where is the object and reasons of that act?
Absolutely, Lordships. I may just point out to the Honorable Court. Lordships, I have adduced the noting and filing, which is the deliberative process and deliberative part.
In between your arguments,
My Lords,
your innuendos and certifications is not required.
I'm sorry, Lordships. I was just trying to make my argument good, but I would be careful. I would be careful.
Whatever manner you are arguing,
I would be careful. I
but
got the.
your certification,
No, Lord.
innuendos, adjectives is not required.
I'm
Right?
sorry, Lord.
All right.
I will be careful.
Yes.
Lordships,
Which is where is that the
Annexure B,
statement of objects and reason for that enactment?
Lordships. I may just point it out. This is in Gujarati. I'm just locating, Lordships, the relevant translation part. Translation begins from 84A. This is something I have obtained through right to information. Here, Lordships, if Honorable Court may see, Darkhast, world's tallest statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is located in front of Sardar Sarovar Dam built on Narmada River at Kevadia in Narmada district. It is a symbol of national unity and integrity. After inauguration of SOU by Honorable the Prime Minister, this place is coming up as a choice for the tourist. Statue of Unity has been becoming a place of attraction not only for the people of Gujarat and the country, but also for the foreign tourists. Since the current infrastructural facilities in the area near Kevadia are insufficient, the tourists are facing the difficulties to stay for the longer period of time. Considering these facts and the fact that the number of tourists are increasing day by day, the state government has felt it necessary to establish one authority by the name of Statue of Unity Area Development Authority and Tourism Governance Authority. In order to make the planned development to provide necessary civic facilities to the tourists, to control the tourist activities and to provide the safe tourism to the tourists. Thus, for serving the above purpose, bill for the enactment of new act, namely so and so, has been proposed in this bill for the purpose of balanced planned development of the areas surrounding the SOU. Provisions for one tourism authority has been made in section 4 of the bill, suggesting the task to be handled by the chairman of the proposed authority and the members and authority itself. Various provisions have been suggested, including the usage of the lands available for the development permissions and area under its jurisdiction, removal of unauthorized construction, restriction on certain types of the activities in the tourism area, matters relating to the fund of the authority, sources of income, procedure for issuance of the license for the guide for the purpose of tourism, help and support of the local police for the serving of the objective of this act.
Yes.
So, Lordships, this is broadly the objective of the act.
Yes.
Now, in my respectful submission, this act travels beyond the objective of the act itself, in as much as the constitutional safeguards which are provided in the scheduled areas, that is being violated. I may point out to the court.
What is violated?
The constitutional safeguards are there. The constitutional safeguard is, Lordships, firstly, that the urban local bodies or the provisions of part IXA, that is 9A of the Constitution of India under Article 243 ZC, shall not be extended to the scheduled areas. Now, my effort and endeavor will be to point out to the Honorable Court that in the name of tourism development, ultimately the town planning and area development activities are being carried out, and that activity would not be per se permissible because of the constitutional safeguards.
Now, what is the dredging? What is the dredging? What is the dredging done by these authorities or encroaching? Which is the encroachment?
I may point out, Lordships. I have given the instance of that activity which is ultimately violating the rights of the tribals in the area. I may point out. Page number 148A may be seen. 148 may be seen. If court is seeing the act, if Honorable Court may see section 10, then also the things would become very clear. I have section 10. The provisions of Gujarat Town Planning and Urban Development Act shall mutatis mutandis apply with respect to the development plans to the town planning schemes made under this act. Lordships, every particular power which is given to the Statue of Unity Tourism Development Authority, I have compared it with Schedule 12. Schedule 12 pertains to the powers of urban local body. Now I may take the Honorable Court to that comparative analysis. Honorable Court may see the comparison that I have done at page number 20.
Page number
20. On the left side, I have produced the entry in Schedule 12 from the Constitution and the comparable provisions and powers conferred upon the Statue of Unity Tourism Development Authority. Lordships, first entry is urban planning including town planning. Lordships, this very activity of the town planning in nature that is to be done in the urban areas. These are the powers of the urban local bodies. Now this power under section 10 mutatis mutandis have been conferred upon this tourism development authority. Lest I might appear that I am obstructing the developmental part of the area, that is not the case, Lordships. We are just seeking the harmonization of the provisions of this act with the other relevant provisions.
If it were so, you would not have asked for quashing.
Lordships, I may just make myself clear, Lordships. Ultimately, when it is not in consonance with the Constitution, I have to pray for the quashment. The doctrine of colorable legislation, it ultimately permits the eclipse to the extent that it violates the provisions. So, Lordships, my respectful submission.
Show that colorable exercise of the power.
In my respectful submission, Lordships, when this enactment has been passed by the state legislative assembly, this is something which ought not to have been passed because this was the power only
available to the parliament.
Only available to the parliament.
It has received, the bill has received the assent of the president.
No, Lordships, it has received only the assent of the governor. I may just point out to the Honorable Court. And even otherwise, this, I may just point out to the Honorable Court.
Yes.
This was forwarded to Honorable the Governor at page number 78.
Yes.
And the accent which is given by the Governor is at page number 96. It is not forwarded to the press.
All right. Which is the entry on which they are relying upon?
Lordships, that is something which in the documents that I have obtained through RTI, it is not there. I would just want to point out to the Honorable
State
Court.
State list.
Lordships, state list, Article 246. I'm just trying to say that as far as this particular bill is concerned, the documents I have available with me, there is no reference to the entry under which these powers are exercised.
State list.
Not even to the extent that while enactment or passing of the bill, even the tribal development department was not consulted at all. This bill has been passed at the aegis of the urban development department, Lordships. The very urban development which is not permitted under the provisions of Constitution, Lordships, that is sought to be done. It is not that the development cannot take place in the scheduled areas, but the mode and method of development has to be bottom up. And that is why the Gram Sabhas under the PESA Act would pass their own plan, which will be forwarded to the district level, taluk level, and then those plans will be consolidated. Here, Lordships, the plans are being made by the town planning authority, the tourism development authority, which has subcommittee, which is town planning authority, and it is not allowing the Gram Sabhas to incorporate or implement their own plans. And that is what I was trying to refer to. By way of Lordships, referring to Annexure I.
You have served the government advance copy?
Lordships, I have served the advance copy to the government, without which circulation is not possible.
Sorry, I do not have the endorsement does show me, but I do not have a copy.
I can supply it again, but I have already supplied, without which circulation is not permitted.
It is such a serious, important matter. And you are not even bothered about it?
No, no, Milos, I was, Milos, because I did not have a copy, Milos, I had no option but to,
If you don't have a copy, means that the copy is not served.
no, no, Milos.
Find out from the Advocate General.
Yes, I'll do that.
Find out. Let us know. Also.
Or Milos, may I only request if it can be kept tomorrow, Milos, we may be given a copy, Milos, we'll
Tomorrow
address
is a holiday.
Monday. I will, Milos, gather information, but if it can be kept on Monday, Milos.
Request, no, just released on Monday.
Like,
Not choose. I may just pray if it can be kept on Tuesday.
Tuesday. All.
I'm all like choose.
You find out which is the, under which entry
yes,
this act has been brought into.
Lordships.